Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I'm the head trader here, and in today's video, I wanted to make a breakdown of chart patterns. We're going to go over in this video all the continuation patterns and reversal patterns. So first, we'll start here by going over just this basic pictogram here of all the typical chart patterns, and then we'll go into the charts and do some pattern identification, so you have a good idea of how common these patterns are and how to identify them. So starting here at the top, we have the symmetrical triangle, which is a bullish continuation pattern. As you can see, the stock goes up, gets a consolidation pattern here, and then it gets its breakout to the upside. Moving on, we have the ascending triangle. Same kind of thing here, but as you see, the top trend line is horizontal instead of coming down here. And as you can see, it does get its breakout to the upside as well. Moving on here, as you can see, we have a reversal pattern known as the inverse head and shoulders. This is a bullish reversal pattern. As you can see, the price coming down, making a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder, and then getting the breakout above the neckline for continuation to the upside. And next we have the cup and handle pattern, which is a bullish continuation pattern. As you can see, the price moves up here, makes this big cup, pulls back, makes a handle, breaks above that neckline, and then gets its continuation to the upside. Next, we have another continuation pattern, which is the falling wedge. Very common pattern. I know I talk about this a lot in my videos. As you can see, you get the price up and then you get the consolidation to the downside before getting the breakout and reversal back to the upside. Moving on, we have the symmetrical triangle, which is a continuation pattern to the downside. As you see, the price comes down and then consolidates in this triangle shape before getting its breakdown and continuation. Next, we have the descending triangle, which is also a bearish continuation pattern. As you can see, the price comes down, making its triangle pattern here, but as you can see, the bottom line here is horizontal instead of moving upwards, unlike the symmetrical triangle, before getting its breakdown here and continuation down. Next, we have the head and shoulders pattern. This is a very classic pattern. This is one of the first patterns I know a lot of new traders learned. It is a bearish reversal pattern. As you can see, the price comes up, makes a left shoulder, head, and right shoulder, breaking down through that neckline for a reversal to the downside. Next, we have an inverse cup and handle, which is a bearish continuation pattern. As you can see, the price comes down, make its big cup, the handle, and then as you can see, breaking down and continuing to the downside. Next, we have a rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern, either continuation or reversal. That's what these neutrals here mean. As you can see, the price comes down, makes this consolidation to the upside, with price getting tighter here before getting its breakdown. Next, we have the rectangle. As you can see, it just gets its push up, coming down for a basically double bottom and double top before getting its breakout here to the upside. Next, we have the bull flag, which is a bull continuation pattern. As you see, getting its push up here, consolidating to the downside, making lower highs and lower lows before getting its continuation up. Next, we have a bull pennant. As you can see, it's basically the same as the symmetrical triangle. This chart I found just has them as two different things. Next, we have a double bottom, which is a bullish reversal pattern. As you can see, the price coming down, finding support at that same spot, and then getting its breakout to the upside. Next, we have a triple bottom, which is a bullish reversal. As you can see, the price coming down and then making 3 tests here at support and then holding there before getting its breakout to the upside. Next, we have another rectangle here, which is the same as the bullish, but it's just to the downside. And next, we have a bear flag. As you can see, the price comes down, make its consolidation to the upside before breaking down. And then we have the bull pennant here, or the bear pennant, which is basically the same here as the symmetrical triangle. And then we have the double top, which is just a classic, run into the same spot twice up here as resistance before breaking down. And the same here with the triple top, but it is 3 times instead of 2. So yeah, this is just a basic breakdown. Feel free to screenshot this or save this, or you can always just Google chart patterns, and that's what I did, and there's just tons of different ones you can use. So now we can dive into the charts here. So we are here on the S&P 500 Spider ETF, the SPY. We are on the 1-minute chart, and I just went through and I just drew a bunch of patterns that I saw. And I want you to be able to identify these patterns, and I want you just to be able to see how significant these patterns are and how common they repeat. So we'll just start here. As you can see, we do have a falling wedge, which is a bullish reversal pattern. As you can see, getting its breakout here to the upside before making a move up. Next, we have a descending triangle, which is a bearish continuation pattern. As you can see, getting its move down here with a descending triangle before breaking down and continuing to the downside. Next, we have a rising wedge here, which is a bearish pattern. and in this case, a bearish continuation pattern, as you can see, making its way down here, getting our rising wedge, breaking down, coming in for a retest before a move to the downside. Next, we have a ascending triangle basically here, but this is a very small pattern. These patterns can be huge or small, just depending on like how you're trading, which ones you want to go after. But as you can see, getting its push up, ascending triangle here for a bullish continuation to the upside. Next, we have a broadening descending wedge here, which is a bullish reversal pattern. I want you guys to just basically get this down, that if the patterns are going down, it's basically bullish, right? If the patterns are to the downside, it's bullish, right? And if the patterns are to the upside, right, it's bearish. I just wanted you guys to make sure you understood that. So as you can see, we did have that broadening wedge, which is a bullish reversal. And then as you can see, we do have just kind of a descending channel here, which did get its breakout to the upside. But as you can see, obviously not making the best moves to the upside. These patterns are basic patterns, right? They are very powerful to identify, but they're not going to be perfect, right? You have to take into account a lot of other things like, support and resistance lines, like overbought and oversold conditions, momentum, volume analysis. There's a lot of different things that need to go into these patterns, right? Like, it's easy to identify these patterns and it's very useful to be able to identify, but you also have to be able to cross-check your trade ideas with other trading strategies as well. And I have a whole indicator breakdown playlist for you guys to check out. So as you can see here, we do have a larger pattern, but this is a larger falling wedge here, which is a bullish reversal pattern, as you can see, getting its big breakout here for a larger move to the upside because it was a larger pattern. And here you can see we do have a cup and handle pattern, as you can see, making its move up. Its cup coming down for its handle, breaking above that neckline, coming in for a retest before getting its move to the upside. And here we do have an inverse head and shoulders with your left shoulder here, your head, and then your right shoulder with your neckline, and then you get your neckline breakout for the bullish reversal. And you do have to kind of, it takes a while to be able to identify these patterns because, obviously this isn't the cleanest pattern. But I mean, that's basically, that's what it is. But that'll come with time, just being able to identify the patterns, because the patterns will be the same, but the variations will be very different, based off price action and volume and everything. Here, as you can see, we have a broadening ascending channel, which is or broadening wedge here, which is a bearish reversal pattern, as you can see, breaking down through this lower trend line for a move to the downside. And, this is another example here of the patterns not being so clean, but this is a bull flag continuation pattern. As you can see, getting its breakout here, and the retest of that upper trend line was more violent instead of just holding that upper trend line, and it did come down and penetrate before making its move to the upside. But still a bullish reversal pattern, never breaking down through that lower trend line. As you can see, another rising wedge here, which is that bearish reversal pattern. Here we do have another inverse head and shoulders, which you see your left shoulder, your head, and then your right shoulder. And then you break the neckline here for the bullish reversal. And then here we do have a large cup and handle pattern. As you can see, the big cup, the handle, the come down and retest of that neckline, and then the continuation to the upside. And then here we do have a bull flag pattern. As you can see, getting its push up, its flag before a breakout to the upside here. And here we do have another inverse head and shoulders. As you can see, the left shoulder here, the head, and then the right shoulder. And then breaking through that neckline for a bullish reversal. Here's another example just of like a really small pattern. As you can see, another ascending triangle, kind of like that really small one from earlier. As you see, getting its push up and then its continuation to the upside. And this right here is more of just a double top pattern, as you see, coming up for a retest here, but not being able to break that level, and then just breaking down here, down through that lower support level. And here we do have a falling wedge, which is a bearish reversal, or a bullish reversal pattern, as you can see, getting its bullish reversal here on the breakout. And then here we do have just a classic head and shoulders pattern with your left shoulder, your head, and then your right shoulder, and then getting your breakdown through that neckline for a move to the downside. But this is another one of those examples where, like, obviously you have to be, taking profits and knowing where your levels are. Because if you didn't take profit when you got down here into this breakout, you would have obviously got stopped out with this big reversal here. And then here we do have a bear pennant, as you can see, the breakdown here, the bearish pennant formation, and then getting our continuation to the downside. And then here we do have an ascending triangle here, as you can see, the big drop, the triangle pattern here, and then the breakdown of that lower trend line to the downside. We'll keep continuing on here. So as you can see here, this is just another double top pattern as you see coming up and double topping here at this level before breaking down through that lower support to the downside. As you can see, just another small rising wedge, which is that bearish reversal. And here, as you can see, just another kind of double top pattern as you see coming up and retesting that level twice before breaking down through that lower support level. Here, another inverse head and shoulders, which is that bullish reversal pattern here with your left shoulder, your head, and then your right shoulder, and then breaking down through that neckline for a move to the upside. Another rising wedge pattern here, as you can see, getting its pattern here, and then our breakdown to the downside. As you see, another rising wedge right beside it. So I'm sure you can notice, but the wedges are really common patterns, right? The wedges and the flags and the pennants and the triangles. So definitely make sure you learn those and the head and shoulders. But they are pretty easy to identify, right? Yeah, I mean, you can just kind of look at a chart and you can see an area of consolidation and be like, oh, here's this descending, broadening wedge here, as you can see, which is that bullish reversal as you see breaking out, coming in for a retest before it's moved to the upside, right? Descending triangle here, getting a break to the upside, right? This is more of a bull flag here, but as you can see, breaking to the downside. So the patterns aren't perfect. This is more of a bull flag, but it breaks down. This is more of a descending triangle, as you can see it breaking up. Another rising wedge breakdown. This is a bull pennant, but as you can see, breaking to the downside. So these patterns aren't perfect, right? They're not like going to be like work out the way they should every time, but the patterns are still useful to use. Like if you see a bull pennant breaking to the downside, I mean, it's still probably a decent trade idea to take advantage of a pattern breakdown, even if it is not a bullish continuation pattern. Because, I mean, obviously, if you look at this move here, right, it wouldn't even make sense for this to break to the upside after this big dramatic move to the downside. And as you can see, a just descending channel breakout here for a bullish reversal. More kind of a, just pennant shape here for a bullish reversal. Getting a descending triangle here for a continuation to the downside. Then getting a broadening wedge. But as you can see, getting a breakout here, but not much of a breakout before getting a big reversal to the downside. And then last but not least, we'll just wrap it up here. We did go through a lot of patterns today. We do have just a large head and shoulders pattern, as you can see, with your left shoulder, your head, and then your right shoulder for your bearish reversal to the downside. So yeah, I know we just covered a lot of patterns. I hope that wasn't like, too crazy, but as you can see, these patterns are very common and they are very useful to be able to identify. And I hope this video helped you guys be able to identify patterns and just get a better understanding of how to chart them, what they look like, and how to trade them. So yeah, appreciate y'all watching the video, and I'll talk to y'all later.